I'm from the school's newspaper. I'm trying to ask some questions to him for a report in the schools. First of all, I'd like your name and occupation, please.
My name is Rhine Tinga. Here, let me write it down for you. As the plastic soup surfer, I try to make an effort to raise awareness on the harm that plastic brings to our seas and oceans. And I try to make this personal by combining it with a physical challenge. This time, I'll be stand-up paddling down the entire River Rhine on a board made from plastic litter. And I start at the source. We're at the Overal Pass. We're near the highest point of this expedition. Tomorrow we'll climb up to the source, and that will be the highest point. At this moment, we're at 2,046 meters above sea level. So we'll have to descend 2,000 meters to get back to the North Sea. This water, this snow, when it melts, will go down that valley, and all those small creeks together, they'll form the Rhine. Probably when we walk up to the source, there'll be a lot of snow, and the Thomassee, the small lake where it starts, the source, is probably frozen over as well. So we'll have ice there. Well, we'll see at least. During this expedition, I hope to learn what the sources of plastic waste are. I will collect examples, just plastic stuff I bump into, and then afterwards use those very pieces to hold accountable those that are actually responsible for that litter. Because plastic soup starts in our own backyards, our own streets and waterways, and by going down this iconic river, I want to show the pathway of that plastic as it inevitably flows down to sea, just like I will. We've reached the highest point, the Rijnkwelle, and yeah, just look at that. This is connected to the North Sea through the Rhine, and we're going all the way down along these mountains, and then yeah, the river gets wider. It's going to be great. Yeah, looking forward to it. I wanted to go to the source and show how clear and clean that water starts. And that we do not have to accept that it gets polluted by plastic as it flows down to the North Sea. An important part of my story is that the board I'm standing on is made from plastic litter. But of course that board needs to be sturdy and strong enough to hold out for a month. So I was very fortunate when Science Center TU Delft offered to help me build my dream board together with them. I'm no expert in SUP board design, so I teamed up with Starboard. They sent me this board to replicate. What we're going to do is make a 3D scan. So we're going to have a 3D model in the computer, which we can use to make all the ribs afterwards. So not only are we using all this plastic litter in the board, every aspect in that board is thought about. So this, for instance, is a fin, which is Okelon, which is fully recycled nylon. We have fully recycled ABS, even recycled resin. Every aspect in its construction is within this recycle mind frame. Now that the building of the board is taken care of, I can shift my focus to something equally important in this preparation, which is learning to stand up paddle. I feel like this is something I might be able to do easily, or that's the way I planned this, and today we're going to see if that's actually true. And well, I've got one of the best Dutch paddleboarders with me, so if she can't teach me, nobody can. Ja, ik pak het boord.
Laten we even daar bij het stijgen. Well, when you're paddling 28 days in a row, I think physically and mentally that's quite a challenge. You have to be able to have a good mindset and think, well, I'm gonna finish, and then you're halfway, and then physically you need to do the rest.
I got a little scared when Janneke started talking about the challenges I might meet along the way, so I'll have to do a lot of supping before I do this. So next coming weeks, that's what I'll do.
So if you are separated from your board and you have to swim to shore, a good place to swim to is the gravel banks here. If there is cliffs or big rocks, it's hard to climb out, and what you really want to avoid is swimming into trees.
That's what an experience. It was so much harder than I thought it would be. When you're a surfer, you sort of use your speed and your balance together to turn the board. But here, the river is the speed, so you don't have your speed yourself. It's sort of like a rodeo. I was so bold yesterday to think that I could do this. But it was a thrill. It was a thrill. I fell off multiple times. First time you're in the river. Yeah, you see the rocks coming at you. You try to climb up back on the board as fast as possible. Just the idea that I thought I could do this. Yeah. This is the confluence of the Vorderrhein and the Hinterrhein. And from here on, it's called, I think it's called the Alprhein. And from here on, we can't go any further. So there's a dam behind this. So we have to pack up and drive a little, and then we can get on again. Ja, nee, ik begrijp het. Je werkt keihard, dat weet ik. Bel die mensen, vraag wat ze kunnen doen. I'm getting a little concerned about the board. That board is very important for me because it's the way I tell my story. It's a board made from plastic litter. And as the plastic soup surfer, I surf on boards made from plastic soup. And it feels like if I do not have that board, I could be just any guy paddling down that river. Yo, okay, hoi. Well, I think I already sort of accepted the possibility that the board, the plastic soup surfer SUP board, will not be ready when we're at the 0 kilometer sign of the Rhine at Constance. Yeah, there's nothing I can do from here. This is Constance. This is where they start counting the Rhine. So this is the 0 kilometer Rhine sign just behind the Alte Rheinbrücke. And from there on it's 1,035 kilometers to the North Sea. And today I have a headwind, the predicted rain. So the first real day of paddling is going to be a tough one. I'm taking my tent and camping gear. That's the big bag, that's actually the heaviest. And then my cooking gear, which is another bag. That's this one. And then there's my clothes and the food I'll be eating. And the wheels, I'll need those to walk around the locks. And there's a big waterfall, the Rheinfalle. which I'll need to walk around, a spare paddle, a sort of camelback water, and that's it. I'd hoped to get on the actual plastic soup SUP. They'll bring it in a day or two, but for now I'll be using this inflatable starboard SUP to do the first part. I've just done my first hour. What can I say? Well, what have I gotten myself into? That's what I'm thinking. Oh, just keep on going. Keep on going. First stop after 2 hours of paddling. Yeah, I've done about 10 kilometers. So I think I need to do another hour, and then hopefully the flow of the river will help me. Just take a quarter of an hour rest and then go on. These are the rapids I need to cross. I think I'll just take off the fin, and I just had a look at the route, and it's more hassle to take everything off the board and walk around, and I feel I just need to cross this. If I take off the fin, I can sort of slide through. Feels like it's possible, and I have a little experience now, but I don't know. I just don't feel like pulling the board off, actually. I just want to go. We'll see what happens. I'm a bit tired. This is the 4th day of full paddling. That's always typically the day that you feel sort of worn down and see the road ahead. And especially all the hassle with taking the board up and all that side stuff. You don't feel like you don't have the energy anymore to do stuff like that. So just make sure everything's tight to minimize the risk. Yesterday, Roberto from the Science Center TU Delft called me in the evening. First, it seemed like they would have it ready on time for the press conference today. At 1:30 at night, he SMS'd that he was too tired, that he'd been working too much, and that he wasn't fit to drive. Yeah, and that's the story. But I felt pretty bad. You know, you disappoint so many people. You have all these partners waiting for it, and yeah, have to disappoint them. That was the feeling I had this morning. And then I had a moment when I thought, what would the plastic soup surfer do? I was reflecting, walking over the railway. I was thinking, what would the plastic soup surfer do? And I said to myself, the plastic soup surfer, he'd press on, he'd go on. So that's what I'm doing. This is the board I'll be using, hopefully for only 1 or 2 more days. But I'm not making any promises anymore. I'll just go on with this mission. I've been looking for plastic from the beginning on of this expedition. So everywhere I am, I look for that plastic. But it's after the Rhine fall, the big Rhine falls, that I actually find larger quantities of plastic litter. Most of the stuff you cannot see what it is because it's just small torn off fragments of packaging. What I bump into, I take along with me on my board. I put it in a small pouch, small sack on my board. And that's what I'll be using later on to confront the companies with. And to make sure they listen, I will send a bailiff to the person in charge. Because I feel that they should take much more responsibility for the end of life of their packaging and products. So this is Nestlé, right? And I've got an Evian bottle as well, I found. So I would like to ask the CEO of Nestlé what he thinks about this. What he thinks about his plastic, his products floating down the Rhine into the sea. I wonder what he would say, if he feels any responsibility. Because your feet are wet all day, any wounds you get, they won't heal. So I'm barefoot nearly all day, so if I bump into anything, I get these small wounds, but they just don't heal. They sort of hurt when I press them, they're sort of swollen. But it seems like they're healing a little. They're getting used to being battered by the sun and water all day.